The other aspect of the drag queens that's important here is the transgender person wants to pretend that he's really the woman. It's a realistic performance of a woman. The essence of a drag show is that it's a very unrealistic performance. This difference between realism and unrealism is at the heart of it. There was a TikTok that went viral the other day of some confused woman describing not just her transgenderism, but her neo-pronouns and specifically why she uses them.
So neo-pronouns are any set of pronouns that aren't officially recognized in the language that you use. Someone might use neo-pronouns because officially recognized pronouns might give them dysphoria, or using neos could give someone gender euphoria. I use them because they give me euphoria, because I really enjoy confusing people with my gender identity, which sounds kind of weird, but it gives me euphoria, so whatever. I really like using they, them, and they in conversation, like when I'm talking, and I really like using bun, self, like if I'm texting someone or I guess just on the internet. That's the way I like using them. So an example of fair pronouns could be, I really like fair jacket today. It's fair favorite color. Faye like the color purple. And an example of bun self pronouns could be, Bun showed up on my For You page today. Bun really likes using neo pronouns.
Bun really gets a kick out of this, and Bun would prefer if you would refer to Bun by Bun self's preferred buns and pronouns. That's true. It does not give me euphoria. It gives me bemusement, but it doesn't give me euphoria. Euphoria is the key word there. I'm so glad this gal gets it. This gal, I don't think she intended to point this out, but she says the opposite of dysphoria is euphoria in the transgender ideology. Dysphoria means this unrealistic view of your own body that is a negative view of your own body. But euphoria, as it is used in modern life, is an unrealistic feeling of happiness. Euphoria is what you get when you shoot up heroin. It's the feeling that you get. You're not really happy, you're not really thriving or flourishing, but it's the feeling that you get. And this gal seems to suggest that those are the only two ways to live, in this dysphoria or this euphoria. How about you live in real life? How about real life with real happiness grounded on real things? That is entirely missing from the conversation. Right now, head on over to podium.com/Knowles. From supply chain issues to increased demand, on top of everything else that business owners have to manage, the businesses that are thriving right now are the ones that are forward thinking. Podium helps your small business stay ahead of the curve with modern messaging tools that make it easy for your customers to connect with your business. It is really, really easy to fall into a rut as a business owner. Do not let that happen. Check out Podium. From healthcare providers to plumbers, over 100,000 businesses are texting with customers through Podium. Customers love the convenience. Businesses love the results. You want an example? One car dealer sold a $50,000 truck in just 4 text messages. A jeweler sold a $5,000 ring and coordinated curbside pickup, all through text. Right now, see how Podium can help to grow your business. Watch a demo today at podium.com/Knowles. That's podium.com/Knowles. Podium, let's grow. The extreme unrealism of what the left is pushing, especially when we're talking about the sex stuff, is a big problem. And I feel for this girl. This girl who says, refer to me as bun self and fairy pronouns and whatever, all these pronouns that are even beyond the 57 usual ones that we get these days. This girl has been raised at a time of such surreality, where life is not lived primarily in the real world, but is lived in the virtual world. It's increasingly going to be lived in the metaverse. It's lived on social media. It's lived with a focus only on oneself. It's lived with a focus on how I feel, not with a care to other people's pain or objective reality, but only a care for one's own pleasure, a culture of narcissism. And so it's no surprise that she says, this gives me euphoria. What a weird thing to say. She doesn't say this makes me happy, or this is a good thing to do. She says it gives me euphoria. It's like when people describe themselves as a bag of chemicals. They say, gosh, I got such an adrenaline rush. They don't say, boy, I was excited. Wow, that thrilled me. No, they say, I got an adrenaline rush, because you're just thinking of yourself as a big bag of chemicals that just reacts to different stimuli. And when the stimuli poke you and make you feel good on the inside, then you want more of that. That gives you euphoria. And when they make you feel bad, you want less of that, with no care to objective reality or to discipline or to some temporary pain that might strengthen someone over time. Something tells me that these people who are just focused entirely on themselves and their own low base pleasures, something tells me they don't have a great relationship with their parents. I'm not saying it's 100% of the time, but usually when you see people dancing around talking about bun self and all sorts of mutilations on them, and they're screaming and they're yelling and they're protesting outside of the Supreme Court justices' houses, you look at that and you say, something tells me you don't have a great relationship with dad. It's a little harsh to say, but 999 times out of 1,000, that is going to be the case. So this is why this is a problem that you've got to solve first. Before we figure out the debt and the deficit, before we figure out immigration, before we figure out the tax rates and the way that we can kind of fix some of the institutions and the energy policy, and before you can figure out higher level political issues, if you've got a country where your family has completely broken down, you're not going to solve any of those political problems, because the family is the basic political institution. Daily Wire just did an analysis of new census data. According to this analysis, there are lots of parts of this country where most people do not grow up with two parents. Puerto Rico, just kind of America, kind of sort of part of America, only 38% of Puerto Rican children live with two parents. Washington, D.C., only 48% of D.C. residents, children, live with two parents. Mississippi, Louisiana, New Mexico, it's a little higher. It's above the 50% threshold, but not much. 55%, 57%, according to census data. You can't have a flourishing country that way. That is going to create, just think about it. Just think about something that happened in your childhood, whether you grew up with two parents or one parent or no parents or however you grew up. Think about one thing that happened, even if you grew up in the greatest household ever, Leave It to Beaver, Father Knows Best, Donna Reed household. Did something happen in your childhood that kind of messed you up a little bit? Did, I don't know, daddy and mommy fought a little bit too much, or I don't know, daddy traveled too much, or there was some big fight that broke out, or even in your extended family, Aunt so-and-so didn't talk to Uncle what's-his-face. And did something happen when you were a kid? Daddy yelled at you one time? Okay. Think about that relatively minor experience of childhood trauma. And now have it be that your parents just don't care about you, and they don't care about you enough to try to focus on your upbringing, and daddy disappears for huge stretches of time, if he's there at all. And or maybe mommy doesn't really care about, maybe mommy just leaves daddy, and she puts the kids kind of second or third if she's thinking about them at all. And look, they're just going to focus on them. They're going to live their best life, okay? And frankly, it'll be better for the kids if mommy and daddy are happy, quote unquote, pursuing their own selfish desires. You can't, if one incident at the dinner table is going to kind of mess you up as a kid, no matter how nice your upbringing was, imagine you're living in a society where most kids don't live with both of their parents. Maybe they get to see both their parents sometime. Maybe. Think about how much that's going to mess up all of those kids. Think about how much that's going to mess up society. It's not every political issue comes down to some textbook explanation and some formal academic debate. And frankly, more of what shapes our politics is that. Ronald Reagan said politics begins around the dinner table. What happens when there's no dinner table? What happens when mommy and daddy just aren't home and you're sitting at home on a snack tray alone watching TV? Well, then that dinner table, that's going to be your politics. And especially when the TV that's being pumped into you, or the streaming now, is promoting radical woke propaganda, especially when the only solid relationship that the kids have is going to be with their teacher in a public school. There are great public school teachers, but there's a lot of crap that goes on in the public schools too. Or their only relationship is with some movie star on TV. Or their only relationship is some parasocial relationship on social media, pushing crazy woke stuff. That's a major, major political problem. It's not enough to say, you do you, figure it out, well, I'm just going to focus on... No, we need to structure our society in such a way that it's better for those kids, for society as a whole. If we don't do that, we're just conceding the culture to the radicals. We've done that for 50 years. It's led us to this madness. Maybe it's time to try a new strategy. I'm so glad you liked that clip. Now, if you wouldn't mind, ring that bell, subscribe, like, get the notifications. Also, please head on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Click subscribe, and then here's the crucial part, guys. You need to click the link wherever you're watching this or listening to this, and then you've got to email this to your friends. You have to email it, text it, WhatsApp it, MySpace it. You have to do it. There are still people in America who do not have the privilege of watching this show. Make sure you help to rectify that today. We'll see you next time.